And just like that, we are live. Hello, my name is Sandra, and welcome to my channel From Lack to Legacy. On this channel, we're all things money, investing, mindset, wellness, wholeness. We are all about affirming sisters. And sometimes we sprinkle in a little travel too from time to time. Y'all know how we do over here.
Yes.
So if you are joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are so welcome to be here today. If you've been here before, you already know the drill. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Call a sister, tag somebody in the game. Don't take all the good for yourself. Tag somebody in and join us in this conversation that I hope, it is my hope and my sincere prayer that this conversation reaches the exact person, the exact audience that it is intended for. I hope that we can bless somebody's just bless your day and make it better than it was when you before you got on the stream. So let me just greet everybody, and then I'm going to have our wonderful panelists introduce themselves, and I'll just start from the top and go around, from top all the way down to the bottom. So let me say hello to the folks who are with us in the chat. So hello, Tanya. Hello. Hey, Anita. Hey, Angela. Hello, Mara Love. Mara Love is our moderator extraordinaire, ladies. So y'all can relax. Marilyn has us in, you are in good hands. She will make sure that all the things flow the way that they're supposed to flow. We don't do anything without Mary Love. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Rita. Hey, Pamela. And hey, Brenda. If I missed anybody, charge it to my head and not my heart. So without further ado, y'all read the title. You know what's happening tonight. But in case you're joining the stream late and you don't know, these four beautiful ladies that you see before you, we all have a shared experience. We all came to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and had a comprehensive health screening done at Prince Court Medical Center. And for many of us, there were some insights that were shared during those health screenings. And I can speak for myself and I'll let the ladies speak for themselves, but it was life-changing for me. It was really, truly a wake-up call. Having hardcore data from a trusted source, I was handled so wonderfully and so gently and with such care. It just gave me confidence that these were people who were operating in my best interest and that the information they shared with me was going to be something not to scare me, but to get my tail in action. And that's exactly what I did. And so we kind of have been talking amongst ourselves, and I will let the ladies all tell their own story, but we thought that it would be very helpful to share those experiences, the outcomes, and what we are doing as a result of that with others, so that if it helps someone, then hey, our job is done here. And so without further ado, we're going to start at the top. We will start with V, and let me just introduce the ladies. You have the beautiful V, who is here in Southeast Asia with V. And then we have Katrina, who's also in Southeast Asia. Katrina, welcome. And we have Cheryl, who just left Southeast Asia, and Diamond, who left too. And we did not get enough time to spend time together, but sister, we're here tonight. So, B, if you don't mind, will you introduce yourself to the people? And when you do it, give them your social media where you want folks to contact you as well. And then we'll go from V to Katrina, Cheryl, and then we'll wrap up with Diamond. Take it away.
Okay. I'm on Instagram as Avali Bodyworks Massage. My name is Vanessa, but I go by V on social media. I have been in the massage and health and wellness business for over 8 years, flying on the radar for about 20 years. So I knew to be healthy. But I ended up having to go through a series of medical things in order to really take my health seriously after leaving the health and wellness space, going over to work for an insurance company that really sent me over the edge. And so we'll talk about that a little bit later, and how my numbers went way off the Richter scale that caused me to go over to Kuala Lumpur for the medical screening. After seeing Sandra introduce the information, I just thought, I want to get over there because my copay is $286 with insurance. And so it only makes sense for me to go to Kuala Lumpur and get a full comprehensive checkup for less than $500. So I'm very happy to be here today to share my story and to spend this time with the ladies hoping that we can help someone else get to where they need to get to.
Thank you. Katrina?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am Katrina. On Instagram, I am Katrina Michelle. That is with two L's. And I'm currently in Cambodia. I have been in Southeast Asia since November of last year. I'm technically on a sabbatical, so I don't do a whole lot every day. But I do like to spend a lot of time just taking care of myself, my health, my well-being. And so that is why it was important for me to have the health screening while I was in Kuala Lumpur. I had heard about Prince Medical Center, and so I just knew it was something that I needed to do. The timing was right. I had had all of my medical care checked out before I left the United States in 2023. And so it was just over a year later. So it was just time. So that is the reason why I ended up there.
Thank you. And Cheryl? We can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Very good. Let me try it again. Hi, everyone. I'm Coach Cheryl Miller with Soul Sister Circle. At that's my channel on Facebook, and I'm also running a Vibrant and Wise series on Facebook. But I also have a Vibrant and Wise series on Calendly if you want to become a part of the community. But what I do is to work with 50 plus women and helping them, along with myself, reclaim my health. I did my health screening in Kuala Lumpur as well. I did the senior woman's screening, and then I'll share the results there. But for now, I'm just reclaiming my life. I'm like V said, I had to leave the classroom and retire in order to redeem myself and say, when I retire, I want to be vibrant. I don't want to be sick. So we'll talk more about the results of what that looked like. But I am so happy to be here.
Thank you, Cheryl. And finally, Diamond.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Diamond Forbes. On my socials, just Diamond Forbes. That's it. I am currently in Florida. I was in Southeast Asia for 3 months and returned back in May. And so I decided to, well, it's always been important for me to take care of my health. My grandfather's 98 years old. And so I'm like, if I can get there, whatever I need to do, I'm going to figure it out. And I haven't been the best with myself. So, just kind of doing some research and seeing how that we can take ourselves better. Actually, I should say financially easier to care for ourselves leaving the U.S. I took it upon myself while I was gone to research and find out where the best place to do it. So I had a few places I was going to do it at, but seeing some of my ladies here who I went to Malaysia to get it done, I kind of pivoted and said, I'm just going to do that. I'm already here. Let's make it happen. And so glad I did it. It was just something I said I figured I need to do. I'm almost to my 50s, and I'm like, let's be a little bit more serious about what my body needs. And I'm glad I did it. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more soon.
Yeah, thank you all. And Cheryl, I don't know if I have your socials posted, so if you could drop it in the chat, then between me and Marilyn, we'll make sure that we run it across the screen so that everybody knows where they can contact you. And if you can't find her, we'll get this stuff up. So just to begin, how would you, and I want to start at the beginning, how would you ladies characterize the care that you received at Prince Court? So, because I would imagine if I'm sitting at home in the States, why in the world would I get on a plane to go all the way to Kuala Lumpur? You know how many places you can stop before?
Sorry.
I was gonna say, who is that? Is that me? There are so many places that you could stop before you got to Kuala Lumpur. I know why I came. Prince Court is world renowned. I mean, they're highly rated. Newsweek rates them, I want to say, in the top 10 medical facilities in the world. And that carried some weight for me. But V, what made you come to Kuala Lumpur, and how would you characterize the care that you received in Kuala Lumpur?
Well, firstly, I would address the word care.
Mhm.
We don't necessarily get care in the United States. We become a number. We become a claim file. We become an experiment for our bodies and for our DNA and all kinds of things that go on. We're not addressed as people. And so small things that become large things, like nutrition, like eye contact, like asking questions to get to know who you are and what your history is, become vital once you get to a certain stage in life. For me, I was, like I said, I'd left my health and wellness business in the year of 2024, and it almost took me out. I was a national catastrophe property adjuster, and so I had to write a lot of estimates and look at a lot of calamity and damage for people who had lost their homes, that were devastated, had lost lives, and I'd have to go there and actually comfort these families, walk their property, write up the estimates, fight back and forth with the insurance company to get them what they needed, and still have to tell them, you know, that $80,000 is going to cost to put the front of your house back. We can only give you $20,000, but thanks for being a customer. That stressed me out. That's not for me. So I think it was September, I was on an estimation call for a customer, and I got there, my head was booming, my teeth were throbbing, I couldn't see straight, I was in a swirl, and I just thought, what has happened to me? So I called my sweetie at the time and I said, I am having a really hard time seeing. He said, you need to leave that place. They can wait. Go get you some aspirin, and go get yourself taken care of. I finished the inspection anyway. The contractor had to put my boots back on after I left the inspection because I couldn't even bend over because I was about to pass out. I checked my numbers. My blood pressure was at 218 over 187. I had never seen numbers like that. My resting blood pressure was normally like 113 over 1 something, over 80 something. So to see 218, those are stroke numbers.
Yeah.
My mom had just had a stroke 2 years before. And so it woke me up that you can't continue to do this. I went immediately on leave to take care of myself. I saw the information about Glen Prince Court, and I said, I've got to do this for myself. So I took leave for the 3 months, saw that there was a group of girlies, Exodus Summit, that were meeting the next month. I sold, gave away, and threw away everything by October, and I was out the door by December. So,
Girl, that gives me chills. I get chills. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but to hear you say that you sold everything and gave everything away to choose yourself,
Yes.
I can. That so resonates with me, you know. And I'm hoping that resonates with someone else. That you have to choose yourself. Choose you today. Choose you today. So V, you jumped on a plane, came all the way to Kuala Lumpur, landed. And please, can you please tell the story how we bumped into each other at Prince Court, unbeknownst, had no plan,
Yeah.
God good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how God works. So I had gotten there, and in full transparency, I wasn't completely prepared. My head was still, I don't think we know the cesspool that we're in until we get out of it. And we're just like, oh my God, my central nervous system was so in disrepair. That I was just kind of out of it. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to be around people. I didn't know how to like sort through my own thoughts, the whole thing. And so I got there in this state. And I slept for the first 2 weeks that I was out of the country, just exhausted, y'all. Got there, got inside, wasn't prepared. They said, okay, we need your passport to scan you in. And I said, oh my God, I left my passport in my room. So am I not going to be able to be seen after making this big trip here, after taking my Grab, which is their version of Uber, taking Grab all the way here? And she just said, it's okay. If you just have a copy on your phone, or if you have a paper copy, then we can help you. And I thought, oh my God, you know, in the States, they would have told you, well, come back when you got your stuff, you know? And so she was helping me with that. And I sat down and I told Cheryl, I was like, my head is booming and I know that my blood pressure shot up because now I'm stressed. And just as I said it, I was like, God, help me. And who do I see strolling past the entrance of the facility. Now, this is a huge facility, multiple floors. It's tucked away on a different corridor to the right from the entrance. There's no way I should have seen these two right here, Cheryl and Sandra. And I was like, I know them. Wait, because I had just seen Cheryl in Vietnam. I had just met her. We had done this big excursion together at the not Banai Hills. Which one was it, Cheryl? The Golden Hands Bridge in Vietnam. So I was like, oh my God. And immediately it took me out of my head. It got me back to center. And I couldn't remember Cheryl's name. So I peeked my head out the door and I was like, Sandra. And she said, did somebody call my name? And I was like, it's me. She didn't know me from anything. I had just seen her on YouTube. And so that was one of those little moments that let me know that God had me, that I was in a safe place. I was in the right place, that the alignment had met up. That Sandra was a person that was a very instrumental light in getting me to this place and getting me out of that chaotic state that I was in back in the United States. We hugged, we embraced like we were old friends. I sat down, I talked to Cheryl and talked to Sandra, and the whole time we were talking, I could just feel my levels coming down. It's like it was just a wash and a wave of peace that was coming over me. So that by the time I got ready to take my vitals, my numbers had normalized back to I think it was like 115, as opposed to that 180 something that I was coming in the door. So that was a godsend to run into you guys, because my test could have probably gone completely different.
It was so special. You know, when you are in the midst of something that's in alignment, because it's like, wait a minute, did I hear somebody call my name? Who could possibly be calling my name in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia? I don't know anybody. I just got here myself. It was so joyful that day. And you know what? I'm glad we had that encounter, because the rest of us kind of went together. I don't know, Diamond came later, but when I went, I didn't have to go by myself, y'all. And that's what I love about this whole experience. When I tell you it has been a connection of sisters from start to finish, we were all kind of there for one another. So no matter what the news was, whether it was good news or bad news, nobody was here alone and had to receive that news or had to, do any of it totally in isolation. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that was a special day. Katrina, how did it happen for you? How did it unfold for you, sister?
So I want to say it was Queen of DC's initial video that I saw of her experience going to Prince Court. And so I knew when I got there that at some point that I was going to get a physical, because it had been, by the time I had landed in Kuala Lumpur, it had been a year since I had had any interactions with a doctor. And so I knew it was on my list. And it just so happened, talk about alignment, okay? Like I knew that Sean had been to this facility. I knew it was in KL, but what I didn't know is the apartment that I signed a 90-day lease with was literally across the street from Prince Court. Like just cross the street and I'm there. I could look out my living room window and see the facility. And so just another example of alignment. And I had an eczema issue prior to making my health screening appointment. I contacted Prince Court on Monday, and on Wednesday, I had an appointment to see a dermatologist. And that experience was so seamless that that was another confirmation that Prince Court was where I was going. I really didn't need to do any other research on any other medical facilities in KL to see where I was going to go. I knew that I was going to get my care there. And so it really was just a scheduling thing for me. It was time. I wasn't necessarily experiencing some particular health issues. It really was just time for me to see a doctor. So that's really how I ended up there.
Thank you, sister. Cheryl?
Okay.
You know, I'm so happy. First of all, y'all know I'm like a little puppy. I'm so happy to be here. I promise you, I have had just like a special kind of bonding with each of the sisters here. Even Diamond came and it was so short, but I think we both left kind of like, girl, you wait. I see you again. Don't worry. But I am so pleased that we can share this with you all, because you can't make this up. We aren't manufacturing this, but there is something special about this place. There's something special about that medical center and the level of care. And Cheryl, just go ahead and give the people a little bit of how we connected. And all of this was around medical exams.
Yes, it is. So first, to the audience that don't know everyone, each and every one of us, with the exception of Katrina, I knew Katrina before I came to Southeast Asia because she was in the DMV. But everybody I met, and when I got to Kuala Lumpur, Sandra, she just touched my heart. I went and did my health screening, but what happened was initially I was going to another facility they have there, Glen Eagle, and one of the other Exodus Summit sisters told me about that. But once I got there, I had this doctor who was a little bit rude because I asked him questions. So I said, you know what? Everybody's going over to Prince Court. I walked into Prince Court and asked them for an appointment, and I was able to get it right on the spot because most people had to make their appointments early. So I walked into that office that you were sitting in, V, and I just said, do you all have any openings? And then they looked and gave me an opening. So I went in and I got my senior woman health screening there. And when I tell you everybody else who was already getting their screening, I think I went a day after them because I, again, walked in. But I was just listening and we all kind of got together. We all went out, and I'll share some of the details about I went for other things that I was diagnosed here in the States, but I went there to kind of get a second opinion. And so pretty much I just sort of made friends with the people at Prince Court. I was back and forth there several times, and I even accompanied other sisters there. But what I would say for me, it was the first time that I have gone into a medical center that offers such care and compassion and just attention to you. Each doctor, the way they work with you, and it just blew me away. And so when I thought that I was going to get this procedure in Prince Court, I shared with the ladies, and Sandra was in there. She was like, don't you worry, sister. I'm right here with you, whatever you need. And that just touched my heart. We had just met, and here this woman is saying she's going to be there. Whatever it is that I need, she was going to be there. So from that point on, we were just sisters, soul sisters. From that point on, each one of these sisters are like my soul sisters. So yeah, that's how I started with Prince Court.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And Diamond?
Yes. So, okay, where do I start? So, like I mentioned earlier, I initially wanted to try a facility in Turkey. And I did, I saw videos, people saying, well, go to Turkey, get a full, comprehensive screening for a very low cost. There's dental work. And so I had a focal point of trying to get some dental work done. I'm like, but I need to check myself out. So I kept on researching, but my plans to get to Southeast Asia wasn't until February. So I'm like, I was already out in January, kind of did some research. And so a couple of times I had to go see, I'll say I started my journey in East Africa. So I've had to see a doctor from the time I left the US, by the way, in other countries. So I did have to see a doctor, get some care done, and every place was amazing. But my intention was to make sure I get the full body screening. And so Prince Court wasn't on my list initially. And so when I pivoted into, okay, I'm not going to go to Turkey this time, we go to Vietnam and figure things out. A couple of times, me and a few of the other Exodus sisters that were there, was like, well, let's just try Vietnam. We're here already. Let's just see where we can go. And so procrastinating, enjoying the life in Vietnam, none of us really found the details. We just was like, oh, we can go here, we can go there, right? I got a dental. I got me dental cleaning, and I did that, just some small little things, but I kept on putting it off. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and look into it. And so we ran into someone there, one of the Exodus sisters, and they said, oh, we just got back from our medical screening at Prince Court. I'm like, you think we should go? So I made an appointment. Then I canceled it. I was like, I'm just going to stay here. Then someone else we ran into, they said, oh, no, we got it done. You should go. It's really amazing. I'm like, all right, I'm going to schedule. Now I scheduled not knowing when I was going to get there. And so I'm like, well, I don't even know when I'm leaving Vietnam because I changed my time to leave several times. So when I realized, I said, let me book my flight first. Once the confirmation came from after every other lady I met, and I'm like, you know what, let me just go ahead and make it happen, right? I always wanted to go to Malaysia. Didn't really know why I wanted to go to Malaysia. It was like, maybe this is the reason. So I booked my flight, and then I called them back again. They probably like, if this girl keep making an appointment and canceling this appointment. They went right on. They was like, all right, sure. I said, well, listen, I'm going to be this particular day. Do you have this appointment available on this day or this day? It's like, sure. They picked one. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll pick that one. Easy peasy. Got there that Thursday night, and I went. And I tell you, I wasn't nervous at all. I felt like I didn't have any like real medical issues at the time. I mean, I had like a little, I think I'm in I don't know what menopause stage I'm in. Let me just say that. Something is going on. And so, you know, just hearing from different ladies, not sure what, I'm like, I need to kind of really figure it out. Like our bodies go through so many different changes. I've been in one place to the next. I move around so much. So it's definitely important for me to check on what I'm doing to myself, even though I think I take care of myself when I'm in the US, but you know, okay. So I just did the scheduled the appointment, got there. It was from the beginning, the care, like every time I explain this to other people here, I'm like, it's different. You get there is attention. There is real care. They are very careful in how they take care of you, right? And so just sitting in the office from one person to the next, every person I was in, it was very friendly, welcoming, helpful, wanting to help you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm there for
wanting to help you.
Wanting difference, right? From the reception to getting you signed up and getting you ready. It was just very Diamond Forbes. They was okay. Some very, almost like, presidential, experiences here. But I went in not having a word because I saw Queen of DC. I heard from Sandra. I know Katrina went. I knew Anita went. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be fine. No worries at all. But it also just, even though it didn't have any words after the experience, it was like I kind of underestimated this thing because of the doctors, the care from every person that you talk to, all the different, and it wasn't like a assembly line, right? Even though you had all these services you were getting done that day, everything you were taking care of from your head to your toe, right? But it wasn't rushed, right? It was very organized. And also they fed you. Now I love to eat. So if I had to put out a highlight, what I said, it's a hospital, right? And so I'm like, oh, okay, let me see when I tell you that lamb that I got that came with I said, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm at a 5-star restaurant. They were you sit down, you don't go on no buffet line, know what you want. You order, we're going to bring it to you, take care of you. And then you go back to get your results. I got everything done that same day. It was amazing. It was amazing I had like one small hiccup because I already had my mammogram here in the US, like within the year. And so they was like, wait, you had one? Hold on. So they went to talk to people. I'm like, what's going to say? We're gonna still check, but we can't do the mammogram. We have to do the ultrasound. I'm like, whatever you say. At this point, okay, go ahead, whatever. I'm gonna listen to you, right? And so they were very careful. Like they were like, wait, when did you do it? They was checking the dates, had me pull it up because they were really careful about what they did to my body, right? They weren't trying to just do a test. They said, you want to get it done, you don't want to get it done. If you do, this is what we need to do for you, so you'll know we're not going to do another mammogram. Now, I don't think I would have got that same stop in the US, especially if I'm paying out of pocket. They wouldn't care, right? Just there you go. I'm just assuming, but they were very attentive and very careful when I did mention that to them. And I could tell because they talked to one person, all these people were coming in and asking me questions. And I was like, okay, they're really trying to take care of me. And so anyway, I just was kind of thinking about the highlights that I had there. Even though I didn't have any medical emergency, it was just they wanted to make sure I was good. And I felt so cared. I felt safe and comfortable. I didn't have a worry at all. And I've had bad experiences, of course, in other places with bedside manners from other people in the US. But this was not that at all. And I can't even explain it to the T because you had to really experience this type of care. I've never had
this. The food was good. Wait a minute. The food was delicious.
Food was good.
Delicious.
And it wasn't extra.
No, that came with it. I thought that was sweet. That was. But did you ladies get to go to, and I don't know if you did, but I went back. There are several sisters that are in the chat that also had their health screenings here. one of the ladies that's in the chat, I went back with her. Did y'all get to go to the premium lounge?
In there, but I didn't.
Baby, let me tell you about the premium lounge that is totally free. I'm telling you, it's almost like an airport lounge. I am not kidding.
Yeah.
Yes, and it is open. I promise you, you know how you enter the lobby right off to the left? There's usually like that little information desk. If you go just beyond that little display that's usually right there in the middle, off to the left, girl, there's a premium lounge. Look, it's so exclusive. You have to push a button and the door slide like this. I was like, that sounds like someplace I need to be. I need to be in the premium lounge. But nobody was manning it. And so I just went over and asked. I said, is the premium lounge open? And she was like, oh, no worries. Let's get you into the premium lounge. Let me tell y'all. Free not cocktails, Lord Jesus. Wait a minute, don't get ahead of yourself, ma'am. But free coffee, cappuccino, all the coffees, all the lattes, all the teas, free juice, free water. I'm not kidding. Perrier, honey, Perrier water.
So is access to the lounge a part of our package?
It's a part that anybody can access it. And tell everybody. Anybody can get in.
When I go back, I'm going.
Yes.
You want to go back, y'all. I'm talking about 70-inch screen TVs. There's a private room with closed doors off to the side. They have computers, printers that you can use in case you're working. So Venus and I went together. Venus is like, what lounge? Venus and I went together. Venus was getting something done, baby. I was chilling over in the lounge. They had wait a minute, y'all. They had the Japanese toilet. Y'all know the one I'm talking about. The one that played the music and the one that had
the warm seat.
The warm seat, the dry it off. Ooh.
You don't even have to be out in gym pop when you are waiting. So if y'all come back, whoever comes back and whoever comes from this day forward, please make sure you access the premium lounge. I was over there waiting for them to tell me, there's going to be like a 20 ring, whatever, totally free. Everything. The man came and personally made me a cappuccino. Personally. Wow. And took Venus's prescription. We didn't even have to wait in line. He took that. He said, I can facilitate this. I can get you in and out of here. Took her prescription and went and got it filled and brought it back to us while we sat and had coffee. I'm just saying. Girl, the U.S. could never.
Never.
We'll never.
I've never experienced it.
Okay.
Never.
But for a big fee, you're going to pay for something like that.
For a fee, which leads me beautifully into what would you say to women who think, because I know some people think, well, that's for the wealthy. Only wealthy people can travel abroad to get international care. And can you all what would you say to someone who said that? Well, I know that's for the wealthy.
Again, I would start with the word wealthy. Your health is your wealth. You are the wealth.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
you are the
right.
wealth.
Amen.
So that if you don't take care of yourself, you're asking to expire and leave this place earlier than you should, because you have to take care of the one vessel that you've got. You've got one life, you've got one body. And just because you don't think that it's important because the U.S. doesn't make it feel important, you feel more like that's for people who are maybe vain, or people who are influencers, or people that are stuck on themselves. No, your body is your temple. Mm-hmm. You need to take care of it. Your quality of life depends on it. So you are the wealth. Mm-hmm. The amount of money that we pay for cell phones is egregious. You're paying more for your cell phone than you're paying for your health and your body and your quality of life. Mm-hmm. You are the wealth.
Amen. I agree with that. And that's what I kind of promote for those of us who are 50 and over. Now, I was doing really well prior to me having my own health scare, which had to do with high blood pressure. And then they were telling me my A1C numbers were high. And so I started to pay attention. But what I would say, just as V said, your health is your wealth, because my thing is that once you're sick, which I have had relatives younger than myself, my brother being one of them, 45, passed away having complications with high blood pressure and diabetes. My aunt, which is my mother's youngest sister, the same thing. members of my family have complications with high blood pressure and diabetes. And my thing is, I don't want that to be me. I retired. I want to live, not just survive, not just exist. So health is your wealth. And if you don't have your health, there's nothing you can do, have. So yeah, when it comes to money and expenses, the stuff that we put into things and the things like I got a whole bunch of stuff here, which if when I expire, somebody has to do something about. But here, I want to be here for a long time, at least 30 more years. Okay. And so I agree. People have to think about where they're putting their money in and what is most important. So I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. No, go ahead, Katrina.
I would also just add, forewarned. Used to have a supervisor that would say this all the time. Forewarned is forearmed. And what you don't know, you can't fix.
Exactly.
And so going into these appointments and finding out, what's going on with you, it's just key. And, we talk about traveling and bopping around the world. Well, how you going to bop if you're not healthy? And you want to be healthy so you can bop around, right? So it just makes sense. And, I paid less than $600 that day that I had my health screening. That was out of pocket. I have no medical insurance. And if I can spend that amount on an Airbnb for a couple nights in Amsterdam, I can sure spend that amount of money on getting a health screening. So it's important.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll also add that, I think someone mentioned this before, maybe in the chat, that we spend money in many areas and you cannot put a dollar sign or a price on your health, right? You definitely can't. So if you can buy Louis bag, let me pause. Let me just say, if you can go to Beyonce concert and get you some floor seats. I know.
Myself.
Listen, you're going to put the money where you want it at, right? And so the amount that I paid was under, mine was definitely under 4. It might have been under 3 for my comprehensive screening that I received. And that's my health insurance that I pay out of pocket is over $700 a month for one. Listen, I said, how much?
For a month of mediocre care.
Right. And I'm talking about real mediocre. Oh my gosh, real mediocre. Okay. And so, yes, you may want to you can travel, have a great time, but take care of you. So make sure you travel with a purpose. And so, yes, I wanted to have a great time, but I knew I wanted to make sure I took care of myself too. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to get it done. When and how? I didn't know at the time, but we can put our money where we need to. When we want something, we'll make it happen. So yes, the flight. Now there's many ways to fly and travel these days. There are so many options. So you can't say, I can't afford a flight and I can't afford. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. You better find a PayPal. You better find one of those pay on it plans. You better, what is it? A firm and they're out there. All those different things. You can do a flight on that. And when you get over to Southeast Asia, you ain't to book a hotel or a room or even you'll be fine. You'll be fine. There's the expenses that we pay here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, you'll be fine. So it's possible. So it's not for somebody who's very wealthy. And I don't have all that money. I'm telling y'all, listen, budget and do what you need to do for yourself at the end of the day.
I think Anita nailed it. She said, sis, you got to be healthy if you plan on bopping around, period. That's what really got me in. Listen, the moment I realized, wait a minute, I'm waking up and my back is a little stiff. My knees and ankles starting to hurt. First of all, sister, you done did too much. You done ate too much. You done had too many cookies. It's time to go in here and let's get a handle on this. And so that was really the impetus for me. Was I felt myself not feeling my best. I know what it feels like when I'm eating well and sleeping well and moving my body. And when I started to not feel that, and I think I told you all this. I was at the airport. I was going somewhere and they changed the gate. At the last minute, they changed my gate. So here I am traveling with a backpack with 15 pounds in it, because it's a max take, trying to run through the airport. And I was breathless. I said, oh no, baby, you didn't ate your last probably. You ate your last scoop of potato salad. You are done. I could not. I literally was the last person to board that plane. I was huffing, puffing, sweating. It was a horrible sight. I was like, yeah, you go book you a visitor. You go book today, because this is not going to work. And so true, true enough, when I got there, they were very kind. And the little lady, after all the things, she leaned in and put her hand on my shoulder, on my arm, and she rubbed me. She said, "Now you already know, right?" I was like, "Yes, I already know." But I was going to ask you guys, without going into details, I can share. I won't share the exact numbers, but there were some things that came up in my exam that were just confirmation for me that yes, ma'am, you ate too many donuts. Yes, ma'am, you've been sitting on the couch too long. And so those numbers gave me something concrete. When you don't have something concrete, you don't have a goal, it's easy to just be like, okay, I'll get to it on Tuesday. But when you have hardcore facts and evidence, like, bam, here it is right in your face, it was so easy for me to set a goal based on what the feedback that I got back. As comfortable as you all feel, can you share anything that you heard or any information that you received in your exam that prompted you to make some changes or some adjustments? For me, it was stop eating. Come on, you got to do the diet thing. You got to clean it up. I needed to start moving my body. So she told me all of those things. And that's exactly what I have put in place. In addition, and my sister Cheryl helped me with my supplements. So it's been a whole lifestyle change for me. This is a whole like 360. Anybody else? Did you hear anything? And what was the impetus? Was there something that it triggered a new behavior or did you pick something up that you'd been doing previously? And you all could start anywhere you like.
Well, I'm gonna start because when I went, what I will say is I knew what my numbers were before I left the U.S. And so when I went to Kuala Lumpur, I was so excited. I already knew that that the main thing was the A1C. Okay, and so I didn't say anything about the results I had prior to. And when I got that doctor who sat down and went over my numbers, she was like, well, and I'll tell my numbers. Prior to me leaving the U.S., my A1C was like 6.2, ranging from 6.1 to 6.2. So I was in the pre-diabetic stage, and I had supplements to help with that. But when I went to Kuala Lumpur and I was eating the delicious fresh food and I was walking a little more, and I was resistant initially because my mind told me I couldn't do all this walking because all these sisters right here, they walk, they love to walk. And so I was telling myself, oh no, I can't do all that walking. But at any rate, when I got my blood work back, the doctor was like telling me as if, well, your A1C is 5.8. She was like, I'm sorry, and I'm thinking, I said, did you say 5.8? I said, well, that's good because it went down, which lets me know that my health was improving here in comparison because I had been doing the things here in the US. So I was very, very happy to hear that. She thought she was giving me kind of some bad news, but she actually gave me some good news. And that kind of sealed it for me that I can tell, my body can tell when it is not getting what it needs. And so having returned back here, I'm sorry to say it's the same thing. I'm just managing, but the food is not as fresh. And I know the difference. And my body, I feel it. I feel heavy and all. So I can't wait to get there. I can't wait. So that's where I am.
Yeah, I think several of us got the information about cholesterol, what is it, A1C, Cheryl, A1C.
Your blood glucose, yes.
Yeah, so that was common. I do want to just say this at this juncture. I was so grateful that everyone that we came with, everyone left with things that they could fix with either diet, exercise, managing stress. No one left, and I'm so grateful. I'm telling you, I get chills. Nobody had a report that was terminal. Nobody had anything come back that was, now you're going to need this major anything. And it made it so much more joyful that we could share that experience together and be like, okay, now so you got your marching orders. You know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. Cheryl and I started walking more together. We both I started really watching what I was eating. Cheryl had a little more leeway than me. I didn't have very much leeway. She basically said, honey, don't you eat a Tic Tac when you leave up out here. You don't eat nothing but lettuce. You're on the lettuce and water diet until we see you again. But I mean, so it was good to hear the numbers, Cheryl, like you said. Now I know. Did anybody else hear or receive anything? Or did you all kind of already know? Because I knew going in, but it was helpful to have the numbers. Katrina?
So because I had almost 1 year prior seeing the doctor, and even in previous years, my cholesterol was already on the back of my mind, right? And so when I got the report that my bad cholesterol was high, I was not surprised. I was surprised when she told me that my good cholesterol was too high. I didn't really know what that meant. But because both of them were high, it kind of balanced out the total cholesterol. But it still meant that I needed to make some changes. And part of my issue was that for literally 70 days prior to my screening, I was living in hotels. I was bopping around Vietnam and Cambodia. And so I ate out every single meal for 70 days prior to getting my health screening. So I knew that my numbers were going to reflect that. And even though I was exercising, I ran a 5K, I was, still being active, you can't out exercise a bad diet. That's just facts. And so I knew that I was going to need to get somewhere, settle down to control my diet because eating out was not doing the trick. I also took away that I needed to be more intentional about my exercising, and I didn't need to follow people, or I didn't need to exercise as if I was a 30 or 40-year-old woman. I needed to change my exercising habits to reflect the fact that I am over 50, and that that means I need to do something different. So
girl, say over 50 one more time. Do this.
Right.
Over 50 where?
So once I got to I'm in Cambodia. So once I got here, I knew that I was going to change up my workout regimen. So that was like the biggest takeaway for me. I think I answered the question.
Yeah. And the same for me as well.
Yeah, mine was exercise too. My numbers, my cholesterol, all those numbers seem to be were well, but that stress test that I had to take, that we took. Listen, even though I got through the whole test and had to sit down and she said everything was fine, she kept on checking. Are you okay? Because when I couldn't catch my breath for the longest. It definitely reflect you don't do enough walking. I did a lot of walking in Vietnam, but I didn't exercise as much as I should have. I wasn't as physical. I didn't do that, right? I'm fine. I'm not in the US. I feel healthy, right? But it definitely was like, girl, no, you need to do some more exercise because you almost passed. Some people almost had to come get somebody to help you because I was like, okay. So I knew after that, I'm like, yeah, I already knew. I knew because I haven't been doing anything anyway. I haven't really been taking care of myself when it comes to exercise. I'm almost 50. So I'm like, I need to do better. I know that, but I haven't been. And so I knew that was going to be a hard test for me to get through. And so for that, that was probably the biggest takeaway. And then something about, that was the biggest takeaway that I had. Everything else was really kind of already new because I already got my test done beforehand. I was really wanting to make sure all my cancer cells and everything checked off because it's such a, my family is we have a big cancer history that has been running through our family for some time now. And so it's really important to make sure I take care of all those things. And so they did a full panel of that for me. Everything was good. And so I kind of felt confident and good about that. But again, you can never be so sure. And so it's something I want to make sure I continue to make sure I take in because I'll tell you this, I don't remember, like when I get my blood work done here in the US, I don't remember having a conversation with any of my physicians about, oh, your cancer cells this, your cancer cells that. They never actually pinpointed. They were very, okay, we checked they were very detailed. We checked this. I was like, oh, wow, I've never seen that before. And I never got that confirmation that everything was okay, right? And so that was my takeaway, that they actually sat down and went through each, result with me to kind of show me where things were. And then the areas where it was like, oh, you're okay, but you want to make sure you might be mindful of this. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm hard-headed. But so I have not been doing that well since I've been back. My body is still like, girl, you need to do something. Okay. So I'm trying to be more intentional. I have not really started anything really consistently, but I need to, and I will, since I've been back, especially being back here and not having access to all the fruits and vegetables and healthy things that I had there. It's been a challenge. I would say that has been the biggest challenge in me trying to get into a regimen, because I'm like, things are just so different here. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. So for me, the takeaway is taking care, really being intentional about my physical health, making sure I keep all those numbers where they need to be. So that means whatever I'm doing, continue to do that and cut back on some other areas as we sweets and stuff, and I like to have little cocks every now and then, So I gotta be mindful of those things. Because I still want to get the same results. I want to make sure those results that they gave me is consistent. Like no one wants to have a bad outcome, right? But we know life be life in, and I have a lot of people around me that have experienced some different health crises. And so in order for me to kind of try to make sure I do the right thing for myself, I have to take heed of that. And maybe that's like kind of like my motivator to kind of continue to take care of me. So, I mean, those are my biggest takeaways, I think. I hope I answered the question.
Grace, you all. I picked up on a little grace in there too, because that woman could have dropped. Listen, when I was in the States, I got pretty much, I want to say 10 years earlier, pretty much the same report. But the doctor was a little Chinese lady, very, very professional. But when she gave me my results, I am not kidding, she wagged her finger in my face. She did. She told me, she said, if you come back here with those numbers again, we're going to give you some medicine. And I was like, first of all, get your finger out my face. That's serious. And you're not going to give me any medicine. What makes you think you can't give me anything that I'm not willing to take, ma'am?
That's right.
And the fact that the doctor was so kind and so gentle in her delivery, I mean, checking, are you okay? Are you ready to receive this? It was not just the physical numbers and stuff. It was also about my emotional well-being and my spiritual well-being. You know what I'm saying? So, sister, I'm going to say to you, grace. I learned grace. She extended grace to me, even as she was giving it to me. I'm telling y'all, that warm stroke on the arm, she was like, we're about to have this talk, but it's not. She didn't wag her finger in my face. And I'm telling you, that little old lady in Chicago, she don't know. She was this close. I was like, man, I'm already on the edge. I'm already edgy, and you wagging your finger in my face talking about medication. This is not going to happen. But so I think to your point, the numbers, that was important, but I think also the kindness and the level of care and the grace extended to me during that exam was important. And I want to make sure that we're extending that grace to ourselves as we are trying to address those things too, because there's no time limit, but we have it in the forefront. We know now what we're working toward. Right. Bea, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I agree with all of you. I heard the weight, and I had picked up about 30 pounds from all the stress and stress eating and enjoying myself as I was bopping around from all the different countries. So like you, Sandra, I had to curtail my intake. And like Cheryl, I had an idea of what my numbers and things were from that last scare that I had just had in September and had to take time off for it. And I had some other family things that had been happening. I said in one of my lives on my page with Instagram that I had lost 7 family members to multiple different health complications, strokes and heart attacks and high blood pressure and all kinds of different things, 7 family members. So I was hyper aware of the fact that I needed to get something done, but I was like, let me put out one fire at a time. I'm dealing with, stress, and I'm dealing with depression, and I'm dealing with anxiety, and I'm dealing with all these different things. Let me soothe myself just to make it through this. And then when I get to a place, to Katrina's point, to get settled somewhere, so I'm not all over the place, then I can get back to my regime. I taught people wellness. I taught people to move their body because movement is medicine. I taught people to have a consistent intake so that your body can heal itself, because the caveat is cancer cells are just cells in our body.
Right.
They use that, and I probably shouldn't say that out loud so they don't cancel this lot. But the big C word is really just damaged cells that have overrun because we continued feeding those cells the things that they need in order to duplicate and to overtake white blood cells that heal the body, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, we can really, really reverse this thing. We don't have to go down that path. We don't have to feel like, oh, I've got that, and now I've got to go this route with all these chemicals and all this radiation and I'm doomed. Not the case. If you've heard each person tell you they had a certain number, they made a change, the number changed.
Yeah.
They had a certain diagnosis, they had a little bit of discipline to either start moving, eating differently, making different choices. We have a choice.
Yes.
We have a choice.
Yes.
So it's not doom and gloom. I went in knowing some of what I needed to do. But it was a wonderful thing to hear those things reiterated and to straighten my eyes up and to realign my brain to go, you know what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And to give myself grace to say, okay, you made it through and it's okay. You're safe now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can start to really get back in line and do the things that you need to do. So one thing that I was a little afraid of, though, because every country I went to, I bought myself a cake. And I was celebrating life because I'm like, hey, girl, we made it. We still here. We live.
We still alive.
And we're going to celebrate with cake.
That's
What?
it.
Now we celebrate the walks. Now we celebrate the walks.
Listen,
It's all
we
good.
listen and we don't judge. We listen and we
That's
don't
We
right.
don't judge. We do
I
not
was like,
judge.
okay,
Not
I had
here.
a cake in Vietnam. I had a cake in Santo Domingo, Dominican
That's
Republic,
right.
Puerto Rico. Listen, everywhere I land. Oh, new day, new birthday.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God.
That's it, sis. I ain't mad at you.
Yes.
I listen.
You got to
Shoot,
celebrate.
shout it
Listen.
Exactly.
down. Shoot, shout it down. So
Well,
I
me
went in knowing,
too.
okay, my number's probably going to be crazy, crazy high, but they
Yeah.
were not. I got a clean bill of health. And she told me that my cholesterol was a little bit elevated. And I said, yeah, I already know why that is. Because I just left Baskin Robbins yesterday, forgetting I had this test today. So, yeah, I had a little.
Thank you. I'm going to take
I got to tell the whole truth. I got to tell the whole truth.
Yes. How about that? Oh.
Listen,
Yeah.
so being a person that normally does get my 10K steps and being a person that normally does get my runs in, like Katrina, I'm used to doing the workout thing. I'm used to being healthy. But being sedentary, just trying to get my bearings, I wasn't ready, Diamond, for that stress test because she told me 3 minutes. And then, if your number gets to 200, whatever it was, or if, either this spectrum or that spectrum, if one of these two hits, then you can get off. Because my body is so used to working out, my body went 7 minutes. I was like, ma'am, come turn this thing on. Y'all having fun. Somebody get me off this treadmill. Like 7 minutes of, and I was huffing. I said, okay.
My goodness.
She's trying to see but I was happy that I could make it 7 minutes. I was like, I've almost run a full mile here.
Yeah.
And she's just watching me run. And I'm like,
She
I
probably
was a little.
but it wasn't as long as it was,
It seemed like it was about 15 minutes for me.
God, she told me 3. We went for 7. So I was like, listen, we've done the impossible. So let's get off here.
Mhm.
But I was happy that I finally got my first mammogram done. I had heard all these horror stories. Oh, they put your breast in a box and they take it to the next room. And I'm like,
Wait a minute.
people signing up for this. I'm not doing that. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm 49. I should probably start checking on this, especially now since I'm someplace where they're actually taking care of me and they actually care.
Yeah.
And they seem to be very thorough and everything is so opulent and so lush and so luxury there. So this new technology machine that they showed me, and I said, okay, where's it going? She said it's going to go in between these 2 plates. And I said, okay, you sure you can get all of that in there? All right. So then they put it in there. They did their thing, and then they had this amazing technology that kind of went around my head and around my body, and we were done. Like I didn't experience any pain. It wasn't a horror story like I had heard. So whatever it is that's stopping you from doing whatever test, whether it be the needles or the technology or the the embarrassment or hiding from the numbers because you don't want to know. You have to know, so you have a baseline on what you need to be working for. And for those that pray, once you have a label on that thing, honey, you can take that thing right on up to the Father. And
there it is.
Exactly.
There it is.
your due diligence. Prayer is one thing, but you got to move your body.
Yeah.
You have got to oxygenate your cells
Yeah.
with movement. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. You start with 15 minutes a day and you'll set a timer, 15 minutes, walk somewhere, walk back. You've accomplished something and your body will repay you for that. You'll feel better. You'll sleep better. To Sandra's point. You have a choice. Yeah. You can choose the potato chips or you can choose the potato. You can choose the fruit or you can choose the French fries. We have it. You're complicit in whatever you're doing. So it's okay to have those moments, because I'm definitely still in that season, coming out of that season. So I'm not wagging my finger, Sandra. But thank God for Chinese ladies who wag their finger, because she got your attention.
Oh, she ticked me off, girl. I said, wait till I come back. Wait till I get back. We're gonna see who's gonna be taking some medicine. It won't be me. I guarantee but you're right.
It's literally that serious. Like this is our life. And if you don't, there's so many people that are leaving us because they chose, well, now I'm just going to keep having ice cream and burgers and French fries. And even if you substitute one of those things, have the burger, but substitute the French fry for a salad.
Right.
Have the whatever you're having, and then put a piece of fruit before you have that thing. Drink your water. Like there are things that you can do. You're really in control of it. Just start to get the information, and all is well. You have a choice. You're not doomed. So get the medical exams. Don't feel like you got to take medication for everything. Do take the medicine. It's there for a reason, until you can get your body to a place where it's optimally running as it's designed to run.
And Cheryl taught me, eat your vegetables first. She was like, Sandra, eat your greens first.
I love my bagels.
That's a simple adjustment. There's so many ways I want to go, and so I'm going to lay them out so you all can hold me accountable. I definitely want to talk about what the exam entails. Someone has a question about the visa, and then I want to talk about the things that you guys have done. And I know we all have talked about changing what we're eating and moving our bodies more. Someone also asked about supplements. And let me just pause right here. We are not doctors. I am not a medical professional. There are some medical professionals amongst us, but I am not one. So we want you to do your due diligence. Always consult your physician before you make any lifestyle changes, just so that you're on the safe side. But what we want to do is help you start the conversation, bring awareness, and that there is quality care out there that will not break the bank. Nobody here paid more than $600 for a day full of, and I'll run off some of the things that I had done, because there are levels of service at Prince Court. And I went for the Rudy to the Tootie exam for the over 60 crowd. I said, baby, if it breathe, if it move, if blood flow through it, check it. I need everything from head to toe. And I got everything, you all. And I think they may have even given, I think if you pay with a MasterCard, you got a discount. There may have even been a senior citizen discount. Whatever it was, I paid less than, or right around $500, and I still got some kind of discount. But they did bone density, all your labs, all your blood tests. I got hearing, eyes. I saw a nutritionalist. What am I forgetting? Like breast exam. What am I missing?
Stomach ultrasound.
Yeah, ultrasound.
My stomach. I never got that before. That was
all of your internal organs. Child, I got stories. I could tell y'all. Funny stuff happened to me the whole day, y'all. It was really, but we all went through that whole battery of tests for under $600. The results were returned to us the same day, virtually everything that we had done. There may have been one or two things that they had to get back to you with, but could you imagine? I just could never have accomplished all of that battery of tests in one day and gotten the results in the U.S. Katrina?
But Sandra, please tell them how they package up the results and handed it to you.
I still got my little bag.
Right.
I don't have mine with me.
I should have brought mine, y'all. It's a
I have mine in the room. You want me to go?
I have mine in the room too.
Somebody go get it.
God will get mine. Hold on.
Please.
It's a binder.
It's a binder and a little bag and a little.
And when I walked into the office the next day, They called me by my name. As soon as I got in the office, they were like, "Good morning, Katrina."
They're very attentive.
It was something.
Yeah.
While Cheryl is looking for that, Shirley wants to know what's required to get a visa to get into Malaysia to get the screening. If you have a U.S. passport, if you're a U.S. passport holder, you get an automatic 90 days on arrival. 3 days prior to traveling and arriving in the country, you need to complete, I think it's called a Malaysian access.
Something card. Yeah.
Card.
Something card.
Yes, access card. Malaysia Digital Access Card, MDAC.
Yeah.
That's
There
what
it is.
You
Yeah.
apply online. It's totally free. So basically, you get visa on arrival if you are a U.S. passport holder. If you have a passport other than a U.S. passport, I would say check their website. You can just go into Google Malaysia visa on arrival, and then they'll tell you. But most of us are U.S. passport holders, and so it's relatively easy to do. And that's it. I would say call ahead, make your appointment. But some of the ladies were even able to walk into the place and schedule an appointment. Cheryl, you got your binder.
Okay.
Show people.
Now look at that. This is what they give you to walk away with. Prince Court bag. And then once you get the results, they make it feel so good, so you're not like leaving there. So let me put this down.
Unlike the U.S., you know how they give you a prescription in a little Walgreens bag with the staple on, and they send you up out the
Or one little piece of paper. Here you go.
They just give us a piece of paper and they go, right? Look, they put this in the binder. And even to give you coupons.
Be careful. Be careful. Don't
Information.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's still small. I don't think they can see that. But you see how this stuff is.
Somebody may zoom in.
You're right. I mean, it was everything. And then like I got a MRI to the second opinion for the condition that I was diagnosed with here in the US. And it was they were in agreement. They offered surgery here. I was like, no. And so when I went and talked to the doctor there, everything and it was a woman doctor, she just broke everything down, explained it. And then they even have like an aftercare plan. So that's one of the things that is important because, it's me, I'm a senior and I have stairs, to walk up. So it was like they have everything in place. So it makes it easier. Plus it's less than what my insurance will pay here in the US. So it's all good. So here we get a whole beautiful folder. And my exam was less than 500 because I got the senior exam. So, and the test, I wanted the stress test that you all took, those before 50. We didn't have to take that. They have more grace for the senior.
Okay.
Y'all
Girl, I took that test. I told that lady, I said, strap me up.
Honey, they didn't even have me to take that test. They did an alternative to that. I wasn't on a treadmill running, but they did something where they attach these things with to monitor my heart rate. So no, I wasn't going through that. Yeah.
Someone asked about what supplements. I think Cheryl mentioned this, and I'm going to say this one more time. We are not medical professionals. What we're doing is we're sharing our experiences, what we're doing, the adjustments that we have made as a result of our exams. And my sister Cheryl turned me on to Melaleuca while we were here. There's one here in Kuala Lumpur, and I have since added some supplements to my regimen. And when I tell y'all, I just feel better. Losing the weight, adding supplements, and I'll let Cheryl share, but I take a bevy. I got a whole bag of things that I now take that I probably should have been taking. I do a vitamin D3. What's the other one? K2. It's a whatever it is. Yeah. D3, K2, calcium, and then I take magnesium, and I take a probiotic, which your gut health. We don't talk nearly enough about gut health because that was important. And Cheryl turned me on to Melaleuca, which is where I get my what is it, Flora something, but it's your
probiotic, Flora 5.
Probiotic and some other things, but I would say before you do any supplements that you consult with your physician. But
Absolutely.
Cheryl, do you feel comfortable sharing? Anybody
Sure.
feel comfortable if they're taking supplements, what you're taking?
I have mine right here, but I do the main thing that got my A1C down was berberine. I call it berberine, but it's berberine. And you can get it various places, but the place I get it is the wellness store, the Melaleuca you mentioned. I get it from there because of the quality and absorption. But I also take all of their supplements. I do the gut health, the good zymes to break down the food in your stomach. I do the probiotic. They have just to stay regular. I didn't take it with me when I travel because it's a canister, but just if I don't get enough fiber, we talked about the fruit and vegetables that are not as fresh, then I use that as my alternative. It's called FiberWise. So we have various things to deal with the whole body. And yes, I do take my multivitamins and minerals, and it comes in like these packs. So I take a bunch of supplements. The D3 was one of the other things that was low, so I had to increase my D3 because I'm not outside a lot. And I do want to say real quick before you all, my own little testimony. I was telling you all about. I was catching the Ubers because it's so inexpensive, right? So it didn't matter where we were going. I was like, okay, I'll meet you all in the Uber. I'm not walking. Y'all go ahead and walk. So my sister was like, Cheryl, it's just there. If you walk, it's just there. And I was like, So what I did was one day I just snuck and walked by myself because I don't want to hold anyone back, like they're walkers. So I don't want to be the grandma in the back and they got to keep stopping and waiting for me. But I took the time where I was staying and I walked. She said what was that? Pavilion. She said Pavilion is just a mile away. It's right up there. And everything has like cafes and different things. So it can be a slow walk and for me, I was just walking and enjoying the view. And I actually did walk that mile to the pavilion and back. So when I got back, I was so proud of myself. I said, guess what I did? So now we've done that together. So that's my testimony of walking. And that's encouraging for me. See, I will be motivated to do more walking, because I have to be careful with my walking because of the condition I have. So anyway, I'm complete.
Yeah. I think that movement was a big deal for both of us. It was something that we weren't doing as much as we could. And I think sometimes in your mind, you set these limitations like, oh, I can't. And I'm telling you, that's the worst thing you can do is to even come in with the perception of I can't, because you absolutely can. V nailed it. We are complicit in what is happening in our body and we have choices. And just being in the company of other women who have this at the forefront, I was like, oh no. And then I'm a little competitive. I'm like, you're not gonna outwalk me. Anna was here. Anna and Katrina can walk, baby. I was like, oh no. When they come back through here, baby, I'm walking 5 miles a day. I'm going to and Cheryl, I think I did it the same way you did. I had to get off to the side and prove to myself, I know I can do this. And then once I started doing, I'm like, yeah, okay, y'all come on back.
And now she is, yes. So
now you're walking.
Yeah.
Now the walk in Malaysia from Pavilion to where we met at the mall that first night, it was so hot. So I think for me, I don't mind the walk. Mm-hmm. The heat when I got to Malaysia took me out. By the time I got to that restaurant with Katrina and baby,
it was hella hot.
It was about
She was so hot.
I spent about 2 or 3 pounds off by the time I got there. And that walk was not that far. Okay, it was the heat.
It was bad.
It was the heat, huh?
I'm like, there wasn't even no sun outside. But I was like, y'all, give me a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom. So the walk is an actual decent walk. The heat for me there was just very unbearable. In Vietnam, I walked all the way. In Da Nang, I kept walking. I walked the majority of the time. I didn't take an Uber until like I was going across the bridge or going somewhere far. But that walk was nothing but the difference in that walk in Malaysia was different for me. And so I know Katrina told me one time I was supposed to meet up with her and walk. we're supposed to meet some tunnel or something, but I had to take an Uber because I was like, look, let me take Uber and meet you because I don't know where this tunnel at. I don't know. And it was hot. So I was like, I'm going to Uber, or not Uber, take a Grab. But I wanted to get a chance to see because I know y'all told me everything is like in a big circle, easy to walk. It's very walkable.
It is.
And when I get a chance to come back, I would like to experience it. But the heat was taking me out. I didn't have enough time to adjust to that heat. And I was just like, I can't. We took a Grab to the mall. And it wasn't that far, but I had to.
Yeah.
Let me just get this question. Ernestine wants to know, what shots do you need to come there? And there are no shots that are required for you to travel to Malaysia. Absolutely nothing. You book your ticket, secure your accommodations. If you're interested in going to Prince Court, make your appointment. And that's it. They make it very easy. And I just want to stop right here and mention that there's a package deal that they offer with Ruma Hotel. And I'm telling you, it's a steal because it works out that the room is almost free if you do it with 2 people. And so go to the website. Marilyn put the Prince Court website in the chat. Tap on that website. And if you go through packages and deals, you'll see that there's a deal where they pick you up from the airport. They provide the hotel accommodations. They include meals and your ride back and forth from the hospital, y'all, and back to the airport. Really? Yeah. And the exam is included. But if you do it in a package with 2 of you, then the discount it's a dynamite discount. So I just wanted to address that. You don't need any shots. Someone also said, did anyone get prescription medication from them? And how long is the supply? I didn't need any prescription medication. I'm telling you, I think everybody left out of there basically.
Not from Malaysia anyway.
So when I went for my eczema appointment, I had gotten a prescription for some cream for my skin. And the doctor told me, don't get it filled here in the hospital, go on the outside, it'll be a little bit cheaper. But even on the outside, I paid less than $5. It was, $2 or $3 for the prescription. So, and not only that, when you go to a pharmacy, at least in Malaysia, they don't take your prescription. So you show the doctor, you show the pharmacist what the doctor prescribed. He looks at it, he gives you the medication, and you go to the regular checkout with everybody else and pay for it. So I still had the prescription in hand. So when I left Malaysia, I wanted to get another, I think I got another 1 or 2 tubes of the cream. So I had the prescription and I showed it to them. They looked and handed me the medication. So like in the US, I would have had to go on back to the doctor. If it didn't have refills on it, right? And this one didn't have any refills. They just allowed me to keep the prescription. So I was able to go back and get more.
Anybody else need any?
I didn't have any prescriptions there at all, but in Vietnam and other places, I was just able to go to the pharmacy because I did need to get medication while I was gone. But I didn't even need a script. I just told them what I needed. I was like, oh, here you go.
And I would imagine, was it a fraction of the cost?
I'm literally just now getting on my last pill from the time I bought all. I kept buying and reading up. Every time I said, let me just get some more. Let me get more. I think it was like $3 or $4 for my prescription, 90-day supply. Like that's ridiculous, right? And I'm literally at the bottom of it. And just to tie in this, since I've been back, this is the first time I was like, let me go ahead and get my refills. Why am I already having an issue? I was like, wait a minute, I've been going for 5 months. And as soon as I go ahead and get a refill that I have not gotten in 5 months, y'all give me a problem. Oh, you haven't, something crazy about the insurance company. I'm like, okay. See, this is the type of stuff that I'm like, this is the difference. I walked into any pharmacy from East Africa all the way to Southeast Asia and told them what my problem was, what I needed. And it was like, here you go.
That's exactly right.
$5. I never paid anything more than $5 or $10 where I went for any prescription. Right. And I got sick with the flu. I had all kind of like things was popping up, but I didn't need a prescription. And it was no hassle to get what I needed. Right. And they call you. Are you okay? I remember the pharmacist calling check. Text me, WhatsApp. I'm calling check on you. How are you doing? I'm like, same thing happened to Deanna. It was like the pharmacist. Okay, not the doctor. She wanted to make sure I'm good. And one of them, I was right down the block from the hotel. I stopped in one day. She said, how you doing? It's doing okay. You need something else? Do I need to change anything? Very attentive. So no, you don't need a script. You can get your medications. You'll be just fine. I don't care where you are.
Yeah.
outside of, I'm just say from Southeast Asia and East Africa where I went. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
In
I
Mexico,
found that to be true throughout Southeast Asia too. In Thailand, I didn't have any problem. I lived basically on top of 2 pharmacies, and I could walk to either one of them and just tell the pharmacist, "This is what's going on with me." He's like, "Okay, hold tight, I got you." What? No doctor. You know, it's not. The system isn't set up to milk you. It is not.
yes.
Truly, it doesn't feel like, you know, like in the U.S., it feels like they're making money. You know, that doctor is going to charge you no matter what. They're going to get paid. He going to go golf on Friday. I didn't feel like that.
No.
It really feels like it's care for the sake of care. They aren't trying to build their own people in order to make wealthy folks even more wealthy. So yeah, I had no problem getting medication anywhere in Southeast Asia.
And I wanted to say too, I have an inhaler, and I had planned. You did too. I had
in Thailand
for, you know, well, to be in Vietnam for like a month, but I ended up there about a month, not Vietnam, but in Southeast Asia for like a month and a half. So my inhaler had run out. I just walked into the pharmacy and just showed them my inhaler, and they found one to match it. And it was like, I can't even, I don't know how many ringgits. It was so inexpensive. I was just like, wow, you know.
Shocking.
So there's nowhere, and Mexico is the same, but I think Southeast Asia even got, in terms of prescriptions, Mexico beats. So, you know, you don't have to worry about prescription medicine and being able to fulfill that. So I love that. It's so easy.
So easy.
Look, they're even handed out Ozempic pill shots here in Cambodia.
Really?
Don't you say that. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I was talking to
inboxing you.
Yeah, I don't need it. I was talking to somebody else who went to the pharmacy and picked it up. I mean,
and they're fighting over it in the U.S.
Yes, they're running out.
But I think we're even asserting that that's a choice, and you know, who am I to say what choice you make with your body, your choice? But faced with that, you know, look, I'm a woman of a certain age, child. I had packed on 30 pounds too. I packed on more than 30. Y'all saw me eating all the tacos, all the ice cream sandwiches, until
all the chocolate covered strawberries,
all the peach strudels. I was eating them all. Seriously. And this is just a result of what happened. I am down 25 pounds simply from choosing to eat differently, from moving my body. And another thing, and I know we talked about this, sleep is essential. Dr. Robin, sleep is essential. Being able to get a full night's rest. But I found that stress is like the anti-sleep. If you are super stressed, intense, you definitely, I don't know, ain't nobody sleeping quality. That's not quality sleep. So stepping away from those things, I heard V say it. You have to choose you. I had to step away from a stressful, toxic job. I had to step away from a place that didn't support my health, wholeness, and wellness. I had to do that. I had to make that first step. And then it became a lot clearer. I had to learn how to take my, turn the TV off, take the phones out the room, shut the shades, do some aromatherapy. My sister Cheryl was so gracious. She left me an aromatherapy, what's that thing called, Cheryl? A diffuser.
Essential oil diffuser.
I'm giving it to y'all for free. Here's it's sleep medicine. I mix lavender, what's the other one? Frankincense and rosemary. Girl, talk about sleep like a baby. Oh my goodness. And y'all do your own research, but there's some research that suggests that aromatherapy has been linked to brain health too. And so now at night, that's a part of my sleep routine. I've learned to lower the temperature in my room, all these things, and yours will be unique to you. But I'm saying, we've talked about diet, exercise, but you can't neglect sleep and mitigating stress. All of those are going to be things that serve you.
Yeah.
There's another question. It says, does anyone know if there's a kind of sister facility that does dental exams and dental work? I haven't had any dental work done here. I had my dental work done in Thailand. Anybody here have any experience with?
Not in Malaysia.
Not in Malaysia. I booked an appointment but ended up getting the work done in Vietnam instead. And there's a dental facility in TRX Mall, which is my favorite mall in Kuala Lumpur. And so I knew that it was going to be a nice facility, but I just ended up getting it done in Vietnam, probably because it was cheaper. It was kind of expensive compared to Vietnam. I think my dental exam in Vietnam was like $7. And the one in Kuala Lumpur was closer to 100, which is what I paid for my dental cleaning when I was in Costa Rica. And so I just opted not to, but for no other reason other than I was going to save some money getting it done in Vietnam.
Yeah, a lot of other sisters do go to Vietnam and Da Nang. They got.
I got some stuff done too. I got like a typical, your cleaning and exam to come, and then I did like some double X-rays and all this stuff, and I still pay under 10. It was like maybe $12. I can't remember, but I was going to go back and get some work done, but I just never did. Yeah,
and I think we all went to the same dental.
The same place. We did, Katrina.
The same place
one that DC recommended.
Yeah. One sister got a whole set of veneers from this place. So if people got like extensive work all the way down to simple cleanings. Yeah.
And it's definitely affordable. I was so disappointed. It's probably I'm still in shock and why I didn't get the work done, because I had an emergency work needed to get done before I left in January. And so I spent the amount of money it was going to cost me to get all kind of implants and everything else that I wanted to get done. I paid that for one procedure here.
Yeah.
One. And I was like, I can get all that done. I was sick when I got I was like, and I still need to get the work done, but I just could not fathom it. So I don't know what prevented me, a lot of other things, but yeah, it's definitely affordable in Vietnam. I have not checked KL, but Vietnam, I'll definitely go back. And I know Thailand also. Alba had mentioned she's been to Thailand a couple of times. She has a dentist there that she got work done. So there are some recommendations that I would definitely seek again for dental work in those places.
I wanted to say also the beautiful thing of knowing where to go because of sisters who's already gone. So like those who did their dental exams or got dental work, I see one sister saying where we can go in Kuala Lumpur. That's the beauty also of travel and connecting with sisters. It's been so supportive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest win. Truly, for me, it is. I think, we're out here, you're moving around, and I promise you, I cannot tell you how many people say, do you get lonely? When you're coming back home, child, I might have never come back. Are you kidding me? I almost didn't come back. Lonely? Are you kidding me? Every last one of these beautiful sisters that you see here, I have actually been in their presence in the last 6 months. There's no, I think that's somebody else's life. That's not my life. That's not my story. I have been blessed. And I think the minute you open yourself up, you know what that is? When you are putting out good, when you put out light reflects back.
It does. It really does.
If you stuck in the place, we talked about that at the top of the hour, which is your mental health, your spiritual health. All of those things need to be in alignment. You need to be healthy there. Then we start talking about our physical health and money way at the top. That's the last thing you need to worry about, all that stuff. But getting your spiritual health together, getting your mental health together, sleeping well, eating well, all of those are the building blocks for all the other great that is going to happen and that you are so deserving of and worthy. It'll come.
Yes, it will.
This was the win for me. This is why I can smile and really I'm not happy, I'm joy. The difference, joy like that way down no matter what, because life still be life. And I don't think life don't life.
They do.
But the joy is that I am connected with good women. I'm connected with good people. Good things come my way. And I am able to share those. So
yeah,
get y'all some of this good. Get in these checks.
It's come on, y'all.
That's what changed my mind about extending my trip is that I was supposed to leave Vietnam the beginning of March. I felt so good. I was just like, I don't feel like I can't, my body won't let me leave here. My mind, like it was just too many things that was like, no, sis, sit down. Where you going? You don't need to go. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just stay because I felt that good. And it was just, it wasn't about, I had community. even the locals there in Vietnam, they were so welcoming. I did not feel an issue. I didn't feel any issue with safety at all. Never. I had everything I needed. I didn't feel like I was going to miss out on anything. I miss family and friends for sure. I want to stay connected with everyone for sure. But the peace that I had there, it's just hard to explain what I had. And my body knew I needed it. And so I just stayed. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not leaving right now. I don't know when I'm leaving yet, but I'm not leaving today. And so it felt good for me to be able to do that. Not everybody can do that, right? And I definitely understand that. But for me, I wanted to make sure I was intentional this time to stay as long as I needed to and could. And I could have stayed longer, to believe it. I loved it. I enjoyed Malaysia too, but I really loved the name. And I'm like, I could have stayed longer. I could have went to Malaysia, came back, went to Thailand, came back.
I know,
I
right?
could have done that. It was that easy for me to be able to do. Not even about the cost. The cost is definitely, of course, that's a motivator, but it was the feeling that I had. You don't want to miss out on that. That joy that you're talking about, it's like, that's how we're supposed to be living anyway.
Exactly.
That's how we're supposed to live. That's the quality of life that we need. And I tell you, that's why I'm like, listen, just go and do it.
Yeah.
But isn't it amazing how your place will kind of speak to you? You know, 'cause we're all in different places.
Exactly.
I had no idea it was going to do that to me. None. I was Team Johannesburg. I'm like, South Africa got me. I got up there. I was like, what is this feeling? What is this? Yeah, it's not something you can plan. Like, I can't explain it. And I think if you've been there, we know what it's like. And so it's hard to share that with my family and friends. I'm like, you just have to go. And that place may not be your place, but just go somewhere because it's going to draw you where you need to be. That energy is going to draw you. Yeah.
I got another question.
I have a question for you, Sandra.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you felt rest and peace and finally felt joy. How long were you abroad before you actually settled into that feeling? How long did it take your system to really calm down and realize I'm safe? I feel good here. This is my how long? Because when I came, I traveled and I said I slept for that first 2 or 3 weeks that I got here. I was so exhausted. I felt like I needed at least 2 or 3 months of rest and just being with myself and not performing and not being around a lot of people to get back to center. How long did it take you to get there?
It was a long time for me. Y'all know I started out in Mexico and I was literally leaving a toxic job. I had sold a house. There's so many emotional things that come with a big move like that. And so I would wake up breathless. You all, seriously, like the first 3 months, I would wake up and sit up like this, like, where am I? Because of the big life shift. So I don't want to sell anybody any sunshine. We are really telling y'all the truth, the good, the bad, the ugly. It took me months. I'm talking months before I could settle into this lifestyle choice. I had chosen myself. I knew that needed to happen. The job was unsustainable. There were relationships in my life that were unsustainable. Where I was living, I was in a 4-bedroom house, wasn't nobody there but me. All that stuff. It was too heavy. It didn't make any sense. My body was saying, keep it up. Keep it up. Just you keep on this path. I got something for you. And I knew that I didn't want that. I didn't want to be one of those people that retired at 55 and was gone by the time they were 56 or 57. I had seen that. I knew I didn't want it. But it took me months. It took me months to unwind and unballed up all that crazy. And so I would say for me, it was well into maybe the second year of being away from the US that I was like, oh my goodness, this is real. Yeah. These people really not checking for me. Yeah. They really not trying to do me no harm. Nobody is. I could sit in a car after dark and not worry about somebody trying to do me harm, or I could really forget to lock my door and ain't nobody gonna be in here on top of me trying to take what I. It was a whole year. I'm sorry. I wish it took a whole year before I could settle my nervous system into what so many other people, and I know the U.S. has done a great job. They got a great PR team, honey. They want to tell you the U.S. is the best place in the world. Okay. I say that there are other places where you can go and rest your spirit. You can rest your soul. You can get quiet enough and create enough space where you can for real start to heal. I'm talking about from the inside out heal, not a pill, Not, you know, most of it, I don't know about y'all, but I was patched up with bubble gum and tape. I was rolling into that job, crying every day, stressed at night, not sleeping. It was a horror show. I couldn't sustain it. And so it took about a year for me to unwind all of that. And now, baby, I sleep. Everybody know this. Katrina don't know. I nap every day.
It took me how many days I was there before I see Sandra? I'm like, what she had?
Sandra takes a kindergarten nap every day like clockwork. If you text her at a certain time of the day, do not expect a response because you're not going to get it.
Listen.
And let me tell you, it's actually.
I pick up the phone and text Sandra. I'm like, it's 2:00. I better not text her right now.
Yeah. It's part of the culture in Southeast Asia. Actually, in Vietnam, they nap. They have a nap
they
time
take a
from
nap.
like
They
12
nap
to
after
2
rest.
o'clock. It's standard cultural practice to take that
Talking, I
siesta.
think that's my bell. Y'all keep talking. I think somebody rung my bell.
So I think
really?
that we do a disservice and we don't give ourselves the grace to rest. And I wanted her to say those things out loud.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we just keep going. We think, okay, now I'm here. I'm on a perpetual vacation. I get to do all the things. I get to tour and I'm going to be the light of the party. And sometimes you need to sit down.
Yeah.
That feels so good. That feels so good.
You need to sit down and to put yourself in all of these different environments and dealing with all these different, new experiences, new stimuli, new ways of living. You have to give yourself an adjustment period. So I wanted Sandra to say that out loud because I noticed that was a mistake that I made is after being abroad for, I was touring basically in December for the Latin countries. And then I said, I'm going to come to Thailand and live in January. I only gave myself a month. That was not enough time.
Right.
And the body keeps the score. I don't care how much you push yourself. Like Sandra was saying, she was still going to the job but crying her eyes out. I would sit in my car crying my eyes out, stressed beyond belief. And it wasn't until I got here that I realized I still owe the sleep bank.
Yeah.
I've been taking all these loans and all these withdrawals out of my rest and out of my sleep, pushing past my point. And so when I got here, I still owed that rest to my body. You still owe it. You still owe it. So I think we have to give ourselves grace to actually purge and detox socially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and not feel like, I know we like to get together as groups and things like that, but sometimes you do have to sit and process through some of these things. So I just want us to give grace there as well. And I'm glad that Sandra shared that. I'm still in the process of doing that too. The people that have gone back to the US, I hope that you're giving yourselves time to not perform and show up for other people before you show up for you, even beyond the medical piece. Make sure you are resting, getting your sunlight, sleeping, moving your body, eating, getting the right intake, the right fuel for your body so that you can be your best version and make the right decisions for yourself. So
I'm trying.
Yeah. I've already texted Sandra and Trina is like, okay, I'm just waiting for getting things in place here to come back. Because one thing I noticed as I leave the country and come back, and I was sharing with my aunt this today, I feel a sense of peace when I'm gone. I feel so I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anyone but me. And then just allow myself to do nothing and not feel anything about doing nothing. Now, when I'm here, I don't do a whole lot either. But what I said is I noticed the difference with the way my body feels in terms of the intake of food. So it's like the life is easier for me. I want to go to the easier life, even planning my life outside. And I love the time I spent here, but I see there's a place that I can now live my bliss. And that's where I'm going to. And again, we don't have to do a whole lot because we didn't do a whole lot. We got together when we needed to, and then we gave each other that time to rest and be when we needed to. And just knowing that people are there, that was what comforted me. But you're right. So right now, it's like coming back, and I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna ask Diamond that she talked about that heaviness, that struggle. It's like, okay, I'm coming back in. I feel like, when Harriet went out and then came back to the folks, like you got to deal with this energy. Yeah. You just got to deal with it, and then, but hard. I know there's greater to come. So I keep self-maintain, but I'm not doing a whole lot because the energy is heavy here. Very heavy.
Well, I can't say the same, but I know I need to do better. So, but I knew I was coming back to a whole lot of things that I was, engagements, seeing. It's just been a whole lot that I've been doing. So I haven't had a lot of downtime rest. It's like catching up because I've been gone for so long. And so I know that my sleep has not been the greatest and I'm feeling it physically. So yeah, I know.
Mhm.
And my body
That's
is just,
important.
I can tell the difference of
Mhm.
with my diet and the things. I know the difference. And you can't really see it now, but I'm breaking out like my skin, and every now and then I will have this, but it's under stress, and so I'm experiencing that. So I know where it shows up,
Mhm.
and so yeah, it's a combination of that and whatever Perry doing. But
Girl, we got you. We're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna do a whole series on Perry and Post because that
Yes.
is it's a thing. And for so long we have been told that, oh no, it's all in your head and all kind of myths and all kind of stuff. But that is a real thing. And I think there's so much healing in us sharing together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't have to explain to you all. When I say something, we're nodding our heads because we have these shared experiences, and there's value in being able to bounce something off your sister without having to give her the whole history. I don't have. It's so much healing there for us in the sister circle, and so that has been, a wonderful, just a wonderful add-in. I wasn't expecting that, and I do want to just at this moment take the time to thank Thriving on Enough and Ernestine. They were so generous to make a I don't even know what those things are called, y'all. What are they called? Whatever they're
Donation.
called. Yes, that was so
Okay.
sweet.
For
Thank
you.
you. We appreciate it. And there's another question. Wait a minute, let me see. It says, for those of you in KL, do you plan to stay there long term? Well, y'all know I've been here long term. I got here last year. And so I really enjoy my apartment. So I will be here for at least 6 more months. And anybody else? Cheryl is coming. You want to share your plan, Cheryl? Anything you comfortable sharing?
Okay. Well, what I plan to do initially, Mexico was my spot. That's where I was going to go settle. And every place I was going to, I was falling in love with it. So I couldn't decide. But Mexico was still number one. But once I got to KL, it was a wrap. I was like, I'm going to go visit you, Mexico, but it's going to be where it's got everything I need, everything. So, yeah, I'll be coming hopefully by my birthday, which is in November, to stay long term. I'm skipping winter here. So I'll be there in the winter time. So, yes.
And I
Well,
spent
important.
90 days there, but I also left a piece of luggage with Sandra, so I have to go back. And I was thinking that I would time it once Cheryl gets back so we can all see each other again. So I haven't forgotten, Sandra. I know I need to.
Girl, don't. Listen, that's not the only luggage I'm housing.
She's our safe place there.
Our safe place. Yeah.
And that's something that we develop too as we go. Now we know, wait a minute, I got a sister in Cambodia. Wow, I don't have to lug all my stuff. I can drop. It's all of it plays.
And I have
you have the
space.
space.
Just like you, Sandra.
You see, that's what I'm talking about.
Keep that space. Keep it hot. Keep it warm.
I got one question for y'all. Is there anything that you all are using to support you on the journey? Like, are you using any apps or any tools or anything else to kind of keep you focused? Because for real, I know life gets to life and it's so easy to get off track. Is there anything that you all are implementing that kind of helps you recenter yourself, get you back on track? Mine is my scale.
Alarm clocks on the phone. I set an alarm that literally says, get up, let's go.
Yeah.
And the first thing I do is get up and go to the gym, or get out and go for a walk and get some fresh air. So the alarm clocks are helping me. Also, your algorithm on your social media will help you. If you start liking a bunch of workout videos on Facebook specifically, they are going to feed you.
Oh, they have been.
Videos.
Oh, right.
So the trick of the trade for me is when I see a workout video, I get up and I move with the video. And that way I'm getting all these mini micro workouts throughout the day when they come up. I don't do every one of them, but definitely when they come on, I'm trying to do some of the moves and then I implement those in the gym when I go. So very free, very
That's a good
convenient.
tip. Okay.
Yeah. And I would like to add that on my Apple Watch, I share my activities with several of my friends. And so, like Sandra said, I'm a little competitive. Like, I don't want my girlfriend who is 60 something years old to outwalk me every single day. And so the little bit of pressure that I get from seeing other people's activity, that's also a motivating factor. I too have I have an exercise reminder that pops up every morning at 8 a.m. And since I've been here, I have a really nice gym in my building. That was another thing that was important, to find a place that had a gym, so I had no excuse not to exercise. So I can go downstairs to the gym, and also, like you, V, I have a lot of workout stuff that comes up in my feed, and I love the videos where they're just walking around in their apartment. Like, there are these step videos where you can get 5,000 steps in like 20 minutes, and you're just stepping in the living room, right? And so, and I don't put any unrealistic expectations on having to do. And so for the month of July, I told myself I'm going to be active every single day. And a couple days ago, it was like 8 o'clock at night, and I realized I hadn't done anything. So I did 70 arm dips right here from my chair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, don't put too much pressure on yourself, but do something every single day to just get in the habit of doing something.
Yeah.
And then eventually, you'll get to a point where you'll start to feel guilty about not doing something, and you'll just do 70 arm dips because you feel good when you go to bed.
I'm gonna charge on my Apple Watch. That's what I'm gonna do. So you can share your
arms.
Oh, Katrina is a motivator.
I know, right? Both of them.
Listen, Katrina. Who else did the run? I can't even think. My brain's frozen.
Fiona.
Okay, Fiona. A few of the ladies did. Who else? Abba and Anita. Listen.
Oh yeah.
They walk. I was like, they be walking. I used to be behind them, and I'm like, I gotta catch up. But those are my buddies. When we were out, I'm like, I can't. They walk. Anita walks, and so having people around it, like, and it was easy for me to just walk when I was in Vietnam. I'm not doing that much here. But yes, you need to surround yourself with people that kind of remind you to kind of do the things, because I have been lax with it. So now that you said that, Katrina, I'm a charge on my Apple Watch. I have not charged that thing up since I left Vietnam.
It really does help.
You put your watch on the charger, but you said it. Abba and Anita, when they were here, they walk in the morning. Y'all know, everybody knows I'm a night walker. I gotta wait for the sun to go down. I gotta settle my system. I gotta do all kind of things. I gotta have coffee. I gotta do a ton. No. I started walking in the morning, y'all. I added a morning walk. I was like, oh my goodness. The air is different. It's less hot. It's less humid. Even the people that are walking in the morning are not the same night walkers. You night walkers in KL, baby, could be night walkers.
It's a whole different crowd to walk after. It's a whole different group. Type of walk.
But I need to thank them, because when they were here, they were going at like 7 a.m. I was like, baby, no, everybody in the world don't call me at 7 a.m.
Yes, me either. I never get up in the morning with them.
Diamond, girl, I'm not up at 7. Let's keep it real. But 8:30, I'm out the house getting that first morning walk in. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I have to thank them. But I didn't do it when they were here. They were doing it faithfully. I was like, nah, I'll pass. I'll catch y'all at 7. But it's those little tweaks, you know. So now I get a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening. Mm-hmm.
I want to couple a fact with that. Our bodies run off a circadian rhythm, which just means there's a certain way that our bodies are aligned to work with the earth that we live on. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing things in the evening like grounding, or in the morning like grounding, which means just put your feet in some grass and let all of that electricity from your cell phones and the microwaves and Wi-Fi that we're ingesting all the time, if you sit in grass or put your feet in grass, that kind of helps pull some of that out of your system. But to your point, the first light of the day is what helps reset your circadian rhythm. So the fact that you're getting up in the morning is why you feel great, because now you're getting that sunlight, you're getting that vitamin D directly from the sun for free.
Yeah.
So that helps you also sleep at night as well, because now your body's working on the circadian rhythm of when the sun is coming up and how your body digests and all of that. So if you're trying to digest, don't eat after a certain time when the sun has gone down, because now your body's in digestion, working when it should be resting, and your organs should be rejuvenating. So yeah, first thing in the morning, first part of your day, the sunlight coming in, the vitamin D helps you reset your whole day. You'll be amazed at how you feel. Like she's attesting to that now. It's a huge game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel
Okay,
different.
you got my ear right now, because
Me
I'm gonna
too.
tell
'Cause I'm
you,
like, oh,
the walking thing, it's like it's been difficult here. And like I said, I stretched myself when I was in KL, but my desire is to walk. So if nothing else, I'm going to make a start, and I'll send a message to you all when I do. Okay, to let you know how it goes.
And we'll be cheering from the sidelines.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Get it done. Somebody wanted to know, are all 5 of us in KL? No, we're not all in KL. We're all kind of spread out. I don't know if the ladies want to share where they are. I'm in KL currently.
I just left KL yesterday. So I'm back in Thailand, my first love. Sandra's the one that kind of talked me. I drank the Kool-Aid too, Sandra. She's always saying, I'm like, oh, she's in Thailand. I'm going to Thailand. So that's how I ended up here. But yeah,
Humdingy doodle, baby. That was where I got my first humdingy doodle.
yeah. So KL is kind of like my side piece. Like I go and I date her every once in a while. Go over and see how she doing, eat her good food, and see all the lectures, and come on back.
And Katrina.
And I'm in Siem Reap, Cambodia.
And I'm back in the US. I'm in Maryland.
For a short time.
I'm in Florida for now. Look, I'm in Florida for now.
I was trying to make sure I got to all of the questions. Marilyn just posted this again with the information for first court. Okay, ladies, I think we did what we came to do. I think I appreciate you all sharing so openly. Is there anything before we get out of here that you would like to share? And certainly I would like to get to each one of you, and in your closing remarks, if you could share where people can find you. I also have included this information. Everyone's contact information is in the description box of the video. So even if you missed it in the chat, if you can scroll back in the chat, you should be able to find everybody's contact information. If you don't find it in the chat, it will be down in the description box of this video, and then I will go back in and make it complete, because it's incomplete now. Several of the ladies, I have some there, but I will make sure that I completely get everybody's contact information into the description box. So we'll start with V. Any closing words, and where can people find you? And V is so modest. She might not even say this. I'm gonna say it. V is a published author, y'all. I don't know why she's sitting over here on this book and she's not telling. Not only V, every one of these women have great accomplishments, and if they don't tell it, I'm gonna tell it. Because Katrina's also working on a photography class. Cheryl does wellness retreats. I mean, we are just phenomenal. And Diamond, I know you got something great in the workings. So I'm going to let you all please tell the people where they can find you, what you're working on, and all of your social media contact. V, start us out.
Yes, I'm Audacious V, real name Vanessa. That's my government. I'm the owner of Valley Body Works Massage that I've owned for the last almost 9 years now, working with celebrities and working with presidents and mayors and all types of different professional athletes. Now that I'm over here in Southeast Asia, I'm not actually doing that now because I'm resting. I'm just being. But Valley Body Works Massage is where I am on Instagram and also on YouTube. My personal life is on Audacious V. If y'all want to see my meltdowns and how I got here, that's where I talk all my junk, and I'm off my professional stuff over there. So y'all ain't no telling what you'll see when you get over there. But the name of the book is called The Labby Life. And I wrote this back in 2020 in the heat of all of the transitions that we were making health-wise as a country, worldwide, actually, globally, with the pandemic and COVID-19. And I finally released it this year because Spirit was just like, okay, why are you being selfish? Like, you need to tell people how you overcame. Siri girl, hush. Ain't nobody talking to you. She knows it. So he was like, why are you being selfish? Like, you need to help people overcome the mental block of, oh, this is too hard, or, oh, this is not for me, or to Sandra's point, oh, I'm not wealthy, I can't do that, or I don't have enough money. You will afford the things that you want to afford. You will get to the things that are important to you. So if health, rest, and healing are important to you, you'll make those priority.
Mm.
And so whether that be drastic like I did within 60 days to sell, give away, and throw away everything, you'll do that. If it's to plan your next 6 months out, you'll do that. If it's to talk to one of us ladies and say, how did y'all do this? You'll book a consultation and do that. But the Labby Life is really about affirmations, quotes, reprogramming your mind so that you know that this is available for you and that you're not living at your highest level. You're not living at your best version yet. We're all still growing. We're all still learning. We don't have every answer, but we've got a lot of the answers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have the cheat code to jump ahead and do a quantum leap in your thinking so that you can get to what you need to get to and erase some of the noise that's happening. So the Labby Life book is available via link in her description. It's on my Valley Body Works page. It's also on my Audacious V. I'll put it there as well. But yeah, I'm just out here in these international streets enjoying my life. And my one thing that I would leave you with is I've made a lot of amazing, amazing mistakes and choices that sent me in certain directions. But putting my self-care and healthcare in the forefront has never been a mistake.
Mm.
Has never been. Putting yourself first and doing your healthcare and doing your self-care, putting you first, making sure that you are well and healthy. A lot of people were coming for travel. I was like, I didn't come here for that. I came here for rest and I came here for healing.
Mm.
So give yourself permission to do that. Give yourself permission to heal and to be at rest and be at peace and not have to perform. You can just be, and you being is enough. That is doing something. Yeah. I'm going to disagree with Cheryl. She was like, I'm not doing anything. No, being and being our radiant, magical, sparkly self is plenty.
Mm.
Be here and be, and allow yourself to rest and heal.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's lovely.
Mm.
Katrina?
Yeah, and to V's point, I am currently, like I said, in Cambodia, and I'm nesting. I really do find that after 17 months of bopping around, I'm here in Cambodia for 6 months, and I'm here, and I'm really doing like literally almost nothing every single day. And I didn't realize just how, I knew I wanted it, but I didn't realize just how much I needed it until I got here. You know, there were these passion projects that, you know, I wanted to start once I got here. In my mind, I was like, well, I'm going to be there for 6 months. I can start all these things now. And essentially my body was like, no, you can dabble in it. You can start to do the research, but don't rush yourself and feel like you have these things that you now have to do. And so I'm nesting right now. I get lots of sleep, and I'm just taking care of me. But it took 17 months for me to get to this point, and my body is thanking me right now. So, but I took some notes prior to the live, and so I just wanted to leave you all with just a couple things. Prioritize your health. Don't be obsessive, or don't beat yourself up about, you know, your health, that you need to do something or you didn't do something. Make sure you keep your goals realistic. You know, I don't always do something every day, or if I, you know, forget, it gets to the end of the night and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do something. I just don't beat myself up about it. If I miss a day of activity, I just tell myself I needed the break for it today, because we do, right? If we are working on building muscles, our muscles do need rest in between those workouts. And so if you don't do something on one day, it really probably is okay. Under the consistency piece, like I said, having my Apple Watch and sharing my activities with other ladies who are, you know, proactive about their health helps me to kind of stay focused. And I try to do a variety of things, and so my workouts don't get boring or, you know, monotonous. So I try to switch it up. Walks, gyms, living room workouts. I went and looked at renting a bicycle here yesterday. I can rent a bike for $2 or $3 a day here. And so, yeah, just looking at keeping workouts fresh to, help me stay on the path. And, just also knowing that if I want to keep this life up, that I'm going to have to be active, right? I'm going to have to treat my body in a manner that is going to be right for it at this stage in my life. Like I said, I have I have tweaked my workouts because I am losing muscle. I've added protein to my diet to help rebuild muscle. Here they sell cricket protein powder because crickets have more protein than chicken and all the other animals. And so I do cricket protein powder every single day. I'm drinking more milk for calcium because that was one of the things that I was told during my health screening, that I've lost a lot of calcium, and so my bones are kind of like, the bone density is not that great. So I'm incorporating more milk into my diet. And what else? I've lost 5 pounds since my screening.
Oh, good.
I drink a lot of water. That's one reason why I like being in really hot places, because it forces me to drink a lot of water. And so after I get my coffee out of the way in the morning, the rest of the day is lemon water, right? And what else? What else do I want to say? I think that's it. Yeah. But again, just, have fun with it. Yeah, have fun with it. Don't make it too stressful for yourself.
Yeah, I like that. That's the grace part.
Mhm.
Thank you, sister. Cheryl?
Okay, so for me, right now, I have been working on a series, like I said, for those who are 50 and over. And really, that's for me. I'm working on what I encourage others to do. I first start with myself. So when I came back, it was me just being grateful for the experience of being able to go out of the country and then come back, understanding where I am, putting things in place, and then preparing to leave again. And in the reflection of all of that, I thought about my mom, my grandmother, people who will never probably get an opportunity to live the life that I am living now. And then there are people who wonder why I'm even doing it. And it doesn't matter why to them. I know it makes me happy and it brings me joy. There are things that I have that you all have encouraged me with, which is the being active more, because I was active. I used to dance a lot and do that. So that's my goal and stretch to get to be more active today. I did go out to the park and kind of walked around some because it's been very hot and a lot of rain here. I mean, since I've been back, it's just this weather has been very fickle. But today I put on this the music that I got from Cuba, and it was in Spanish, and I just imagine myself being in another country and just dancing, right here, like you said, in the living room, just moving, because that puts me in a happy space. So what I'm doing now is to encourage others, because as I said, the energy is heavy. I can only first keep myself up, but and then encourage others. But what I did decide is not to drag anybody, chase anybody, but to do what's best for them. Because that used to be my thing, trying to rescue folks. Come on, do it. This is good. I had to release that. So I've been doing a lot of spiritual work around surrendering and releasing. And then I'm doing the series on Facebook and just putting the message out. I'll go live every now and then. So this now is keeping me focused until I get back, y'all. Until I get back.
Till you get back.
To my next home, right? So in the meantime, though, I would say for all of those who, I'm over 60, but I started at 50, right? Look, life doesn't end. God said that we should have life and have it more abundantly. And I'm taking God's word on that, right? I am living my abundant life, whatever that looks like. So the obstacles that we have in front of us are the obstacles that we're bringing to ourselves. Release those obstacles. Allow the Holy Spirit, God, the universe, whatever name you give it, to serve you and liberate you. And I'm telling you, you will live vibrant and wise and younger, and then you attract very beautiful women like the ones that's on this YouTube tonight. So thank you all for all that you're doing and continue to do. And there's many others behind the scenes who are in the chat. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. I got your Facebook page up. It's Soul Sister Circle.
Yeah,
you can find her.
she put a U.
Is it SIS?
SISTUH.
Okay, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in the post production. I'll make sure that we get the links and everything correct down in the description box. But you can find Cheryl on her Facebook group as well, and we'll make sure that we get all of her contact information in there. I'll fix it, sis.
Yes.
Did you want to say anything else before I move on to Diamond?
I'm complete.
Okay, Diamond.
Okay, well, I am in the infant stages of all you ladies. You're all already working into doing things, projects and books and things. That's great. So I applaud y'all. I love being around winners. That's per usual. But what I'm doing now, I'm really just getting back, and I still feel like I'm back in the adjustment stages of being back in the US. I do have some things that I want to start. So one of the things I did at the start at the top of the year was to start a YouTube page, just to kind of let my friends and families, they always want to know where I'm going, what I'm doing. And it's really for them to kind of see my journey, whatever that is. I have a lot of passions and things that I love to do. And so traveling has always been like how I breathe, right? And so I wanted to start that YouTube page. I did. I started on January 1st, but I haven't done a whole lot on it. So I'm getting there. I'm getting back to it.
What's the name of your channel, Diamond? Because I don't have it.
Diamond Forbes. I don't think, does it have an L in between? See? It may say Diamond L Forbes, but hold on, let me look at it.
Y'all know how to.
I think I put it in there, so I'll put it in there. But it should just be my name, my first and last name. Let me see. And then, of course, on IG is Real Queen of Diamonds, and Facebook it's Diamond Forbes. So pretty much on those platforms, if I'm doing something, I will go live most of the time. Like I will go live. It's easier. I want to start doing better on my YouTube page and actually being more intentional about what I'm sharing. So when Coach Cheryl, when you mentioned the series, I did tell my nephew that I need to do a series of my travels because I did not post as much as I thought I was while I was gone. The goal was to kind of use the YouTube page along the journey from the time I left and just to kind of share. And I was just enjoying the travels and experiences that I was so sidetracked. Every now and then I'll post something, every now and then I will go live, but I didn't give the fullness of what I was experiencing. It's kind of hard to do so. So I want to do a series of the time that I was gone from January up until May, just so I can share the things that I experienced. And so that is something I would like to do. I told my nephew to help me with it. I have not sat down long enough for him to help me get it together. So I'll be working on that. Also, that page is just to kind of show what I'm doing. The other things that I wanted to originally do when I first started with Exodus Summit, just hearing about the ladies on the YouTube page, I'm like, I have a passion of working with children and families. I've been working in child welfare for 20 plus years. And so I'm a big advocate for children and families who have been impacted by foster care. And I wanted to create a page where they have a platform where they can come and talk about whatever that is. And I didn't want to limit it. And so I was trying to figure out a way to do it without interfering with my job because I'm still working in the field. And so because I have not quite figured out, maneuvered through that, I haven't posted a lot on that yet. But the goal is to have a safe space for whether you are a foster child, case manager, foster parent, working in admin, any type of aspect within the child welfare environment, just for you to come and share your experiences, just to encourage others. And also, I know a lot of my friends and family know that's what I do. And so they reach out to me for the advice. And so I figured it needs to be a way for me to kind of pivot into being a service to help them do that. How I'm going to do that, I haven't figured that out yet. The other thing is I know travel so much that a friend of mine asked me to be a part of her travel agency, and I agreed to do it, have done nothing at all with it. And so I can't even share what that is because I have not done anything with it. So eventually I will have some of those things going on. I'm just getting back. I said I'm going to start some things. I'm going to do it scared. I'm not going to think so much into it, because as long as I've been saying I'm going to do these things, I haven't done them. And this is the first year I've actually implemented every one of those things. But that's all I've done. And so eventually I would like to make sure those platforms are defined and available so I can kind of share that. So yeah.
Girl, it's your time to shine. It's your time.
I
Just
can
do it. Just start somewhere.
Mhm.
I just want to thank you all. First of all, thank you to all the sisters that joined us in the chat. We just appreciate your presence here. Thank you for your gifting to us. Thank you, ladies on the panel. It's been so much fun. Listen, girl, they knocked on the door and told me to pipe down.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Sandra,
What?
one other thing, can I add real quick?
Yes.
Because while Diamond was talking, I meant to say this. For any of the women out there too, I wanted to just share, if you're interested in finding out where you can get quality supplements from, I can tell you about a wellness store. That will be a part of the information that Sandra shares, so that you can look into getting quality supplements for those who are doing that to accentuate your overall health and wellness. So I did want to mention that because I'm doing that now, but I was so caught up in the just the energy of you all's love. So that's it.
We will link all of that stuff below in the description of the video. So if you go back and look in the chat, you might not see it, but we will put all the links in the description box. You know how when you watch the video and then it says more, it'll be all down in that description box.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, two things. Do you ship internationally? And second, how dare they stop your joy and excitement, Sandra? They don't call me audacious V for nothing. What you mean?
We were over here. Look, you all already know how I get down. I'm having fun, but I will be a good neighbor, because it is a very quiet building. You know it's quiet, but
I know, right? I'm surprised I said you must have gotten really excited. I was there too.
Well, you know, I got the volume on 10. I got the volume on 10. So y'all was blaring through the whole place on 10. I was on 10.
To answer your question, V, they have international stores like there's one in Malaysia, and there's one in the Philippines. So internationally, they have various countries that offer it. But in the US, they have different offerings within these stores. We found that out when I went to Malaysia. But I can share more of it for those who are still in the US and plan not to travel, but want to do something. I wanted to put that out because this is also another support. But all my international sisters, we're going to help you out and work it out too, because I discovered the store in Malaysia, and now when I come back, I'm going to check out the Philippines and Singapore and other places that they have it. So yes, thank you for asking that question.
Y'all, there was a question in the chat. It says, how do you find gyms in KL, Bangkok, and Vietnam? And I can safely say that most of the buildings where I've been or stayed, they have a gym. And I'm not talking about some little rinky-dink gym. They have gym, sauna, steam room, pools, multiple
big enough to do laps.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have the whole thing.
I don't know. What about in Thailand? It was the same. Many
buildings. All of the hotels and all of the condos have their own, like Katrina was saying, she can go down to, whatever level to get to your gym. But also, just like in America, I mean, again, they've done a great job of marketing, like, oh, America's the only one with these amenities. No, there's that and greater abroad. Just like in the United States, when you're looking for a bookstore near me, gym near me. It's a very simple find. Very, very simple. Just Google what you need. Pharmacy near me, gym near me, grocery store near me. Just Google it.
But America does not have a monopoly on all these things.
No, absolutely not. In fact, they need to step up their game with.
I think I understand the question, because there's trepidation of, it's going to be so new, and I don't know about the language and how will I find my amenities and my necessities and how am I. listen, it's so much more simple than what you could even think. And fit a space. There's so many groups and so many of us.
So many communities. Yes.
You can reach out and ask for help. If you need some solitude, my sisters, Sandra and Cheryl, they gave me the solitude that I need. Sandra even said, well, you need to take a sabbatical and go to a silent, what did you say?
Silent retreat.
Silent retreat. I was done. I didn't want to talk to nobody. And here I was talking to people. That's my story. But anyway.
Did you make it to the silent retreat?
I'm sorry?
Did you make it to the silent retreat?
I made my silent retreat, sis.
She sure did.
I applied to one, but I got waitlisted. But they're everywhere around Southeast Asia.
No, I went black. I went black. I shut everything off because I needed that. And so I went to Bali for 2 weeks and again slept and decompressed and just cried and detoxed and sat in the sun. And like you have to know what your body's telling you. Like, do not walk past it. Don't run past it. Sit in it. But yeah, I made my own retreat.
I did. It came outside to see us.
You got to do it.
I think that's it, bro. So I was trying to scan to see if there were any other questions. I just want to give the chat an opportunity. If you have any other questions for the ladies before we bid you a fond adieu, please put 3 Qs in front of it, and then we'll try to get your questions answered. If not, please feel free to reach out to any of the ladies on the panel. When I tell you warm, gentle, loving, kind, sharing spirits, you are not going to interface with kinder women. I promise you, I wouldn't lead you astray. So use the contact information that is down in the description box. And if nobody has any other questions, y'all, we did 2 full hours, y'all, and got a reprimand.
It doesn't even feel like it's been 2 hours.
I want to say I'm proud of you, ladies. I'm proud of Diamond for acknowledging that she's wanting to take a little bit of rest while she's there in the States. So I'm very confident that you will implement that 1 hour for yourself, if that means whatever that means, top of the day, bottom of the day, once a week on Saturday. I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of Cheryl for coming in and doing all the things that she's doing and for sharing her supplement line and all of her wisdom in her sweet, gentle way of pulling people together, but to also honoring herself. Very, very proud of Katrina for being 50 and fire.
Baby.
The arms are arming. And for motivating the girlies to do their walks and to be that beacon of health and strength and what's possible after a certain age. And certainly my sister, Sandra, for even getting me over to this place. I'm trying not to cry. From sharing your story and getting us over here.
Yeah.
And for being a conduit so that when we get to Malaysia, we have a landing pad, just like Cheryl said, just knowing somebody's there makes a difference.
It does.
Makes a difference. So,
it does.
And I'm proud of your weight loss. You look fantastic.
Thank you. You are so kind. But you all know it's a circle. And most of us are paying it forward. Somebody was kind to me. Somebody did it for me. And so it's not even an obligation. It's almost like, well, why wouldn't I do the same thing and be the same thing that a sister was for me? And so I think that energy just grows, y'all. I ain't crying with you today, girl.
Jump on in. The water's fine. Jump on in. Release it.
It has been an absolute pleasure and just an honor to be in you all's presence. And so I thank you and I honor you and I honor your journey. And on that note, ladies, we're going to say goodnight. But Marilyn will get me if I do not do this. Y'all know what I do. Not only do I welcome sisters to Malaysia and eat good food and walk around with my sisters, we help you get your money straight over here too. Normally 2 days out of the month, we are Cheryl is in there with us. Y'all, we are talking about getting your money right. Of course, we talked about the importance of mental health, physical health, spiritual health. Eventually, once you've got those pieces in place, you'll be ready to address the money situation. So you are never too late. You are never too old. You are never too far behind. You are never too broke. None of those things apply. We don't judge. Who said we listen, but we don't judge? We don't do any of that stuff. But what we do is we share information on how you can take whatever it is you have, be a good steward, and multiply that. And so if you want to join us, feel free to join our study sessions. We meet the second and the fourth Wednesday of every month. And you can book a time down there at the link. Because if I don't do that, y'all, Marilyn will get me. Like,
That's
girl,
right.
you
You have to do that. And
You
it's
got to
wonderful.
put you.
It's so wonderful. But
we would
those,
love to have you. We would love to have you.
if you're retired like me, you can still manage your money well. Sandra's already shown me some little hacks after retirement that I can even grow my money. So
Yeah.
come on in the room, you all. You're welcome.
And on that note, we're saying good night. Love y'all.
Good
Peace and
night.
blessings, everybody. Bye-bye.